October 27, 2025, Toronto buzzed with anticipation. An electric energy pulsed through the city as fans from all walks of life converged on the Rogers Centre. The streets were awash in a sea of blue and white, with hopeful faces and nervous excitement in the air. It was a night that felt bigger than baseball, a moment when the city itself seemed to hold its breath. Game 3 of the World Series was about to begin, and every seat in the stadium was filled with fans eager to witness history. The Rogers Centre, glowing under the stadium lights, had never looked more alive. The Blue Jays and Dodgers, two powerhouse teams, were tied at 1 game each. The tension was palpable as players from both sides took the field, their faces set with determination, knowing that every play could shift the momentum. The stakes couldn't be higher. This game would tip the balance of the series. Fans waved towels, chanted and clung to every pitch, aware that a single mistake or moment of brilliance could define the night. The Dodgers, loaded with stars and postseason experience, faced a Blue Jays squad energized by their home crowd and hungry for glory. The dugouts were a study in contrast, one side calm and collected, the other bursting with youthful energy. Game 1 saw Toronto triumph, their bats coming alive and their pitching staff shutting down the Dodgers' offense. The city erupted in celebration, believing this could be their year. But the Dodgers answered in Game 2 behind ace Yoshinobu Yamamoto, whose dominant performance silenced the Toronto crowd and reminded everyone why Los Angeles was a perennial contender. Now, Game 3 felt like a turning point. Momentum and history hung in the balance. Every fan, player, and coach knew that the winner tonight would seize control of the series and perhaps the championship itself. Baseball legends filled the broadcast booth, dissecting every matchup and storyline. Their voices carried the weight of history, adding gravitas to every pitch and swing, as millions tuned in from around the world. The national anthems played, the crowd roared, and the first pitch signaled the start of a battle. The sound of the ball hitting the catcher's mitt echoed through the stadium, marking the beginning of a night that would be remembered for years. The Dodgers came out aggressive, determined to prove their Game 2 win was no fluke. Their hitters attacked early, putting pressure on Toronto's defense and looking to quiet the raucous home crowd. The Blue Jays, defending their turf, were equally relentless. Their pitchers worked the corners, their fielders dove for every ball, and their fans responded with thunderous support. This wasn't just a game, it was a collision of legacies and dreams. Every crack of the bat, every diving catch, every stolen base carried the hopes of two cities and the weight of baseball history. For the Dodgers, another title beckoned, a chance to add to their storied legacy and bring another championship back to Los Angeles. For Toronto, it was about more than just a win. It was a chance to bring the trophy back to Canada, to inspire a new generation of fans, and to etch their names into the annals of baseball greatness. Every inning, every pitch, every swing was magnified. The pressure mounted with each passing moment as players dug deep and fans held their breath. The world watched, waiting to see which team would seize the moment. From packed sports bars in Toronto to living rooms in Los Angeles, and even fans overseas, all eyes were glued to the action. This was baseball at its most dramatic, a night destined for the history books, where heroes would rise, legends would be made, and the dreams of a city would hang on every pitch. As the game unfolded, one thing was certain: no one would ever forget the magic of this World Series showdown. At the heart of Toronto's run was shortstop Bichette, a story of resilience. After a tough 2024, Bichette returned in 2025 with renewed focus, quickly re-establishing himself as an elite hitter. He led the team with a .311 average, sparking the offense all season. Then, a September knee sprain threatened to derail everything. Many doubted he'd return for the playoffs, but Bichette's determination never wavered. His comeback for the postseason electrified the team and city. He wasn't just a player returning from injury, he was their leader, their spark. Now, on the World Series stage, Bichette had a chance to complete his comeback story. The pressure was immense, but he was ready for the moment. Toronto's hopes rested on his shoulders. Game 3 erupted into a classic slugfest, the kind of high-octane showdown that keeps fans glued to their seats. From the very first pitch, it was clear that both teams were ready to leave everything on the field, with their brightest stars stepping up to the plate and refusing to back down. Shohei Ohtani, the Dodgers' two-way sensation and one of baseball's most electrifying talents, put on a show for the ages. He crushed not one, but two towering home runs, each swing echoing through the stadium and momentarily silencing the raucous Toronto crowd. Ohtani's power was on full display, and his teammates fed off his energy. Teoscar Hernandez, a former Blue Jay now donning Dodger blue, reminded his old fans of his talent by launching a solo shot deep into the night. His home run was a statement, adding to the Dodgers' growing momentum and putting even more pressure on the Blue Jays' pitching staff. Will Smith, the ever-reliable Dodgers catcher, chipped in with a crucial RBI, driving in another run and keeping the scoreboard ticking for Los Angeles. The Dodgers' lineup seemed relentless, with every batter contributing to the offensive onslaught. The Dodgers' offense looked absolutely unstoppable, answering every Blue Jays rally with a surge of their own. Each time Toronto threatened to close the gap, Los Angeles responded with timely hits and aggressive base running, keeping the pressure on and the energy high in their dugout. But Toronto wasn't about to let the game slip away. They had their own hero waiting in the wings, Alejandro Kirk, the Blue Jays' unassuming but clutch catcher, who has a knack for delivering in the biggest moments. With runners on base and the tension mounting, Kirk stepped up and smashed a dramatic 3-run homer, sending the stadium into an absolute frenzy. The crowd erupted, blue and white flags waving, as Kirk rounded the bases with a huge grin, his teammates pouring out of the dugout to greet him. The lead swung back and forth, with neither team willing to give an inch. Every run felt monumental, and every defensive play was met with cheers or groans from the crowd. The tension in the stadium was palpable as the game teetered on a knife's edge. Ohtani's raw power was matched by Kirk's clutch hitting, as both stars seemed determined to will their teams to victory. Their performances turned the game into a personal duel, each answering the other's heroics with big moments of their own. Every inning brought new drama, with each at-bat holding the potential to shift the momentum. Fans were on the edge of their seats, hanging on every pitch, every swing, and every defensive play. The game became a true showcase of star power and resilience, with both teams digging deep and refusing to let up. The intensity on the field was matched only by the passion in the stands. As the innings ticked by and the score remained close, it was clear. This battle would come down to the final moments, with every pitch and every decision carrying enormous weight. In a game filled with fireworks and unforgettable moments, one thing was certain. A hero was bound to emerge from the chaos, forever etching their name into the story of this epic showdown. As the late innings arrived, a heavy sense of anticipation settled over the stadium. The air was thick with nerves, every fan on the edge of their seat, hearts pounding in unison. The energy was electric, almost tangible, as if the outcome of every pitch could be felt in the stands. The score remained deadlocked, and with each passing inning, the pressure only mounted. Every pitch, every swing, every defensive play was magnified under the bright stadium lights. The smallest mistake could tip the balance, and everyone knew it. Managers paced nervously, turning to their most trusted relievers. The bullpen was alive with activity, arms warming up, each pitcher preparing for the possibility of becoming the night's unsung hero, or its scapegoat. One misplaced pitch could decide everything. Batters approached the plate with steely determination, each one hoping to be the spark that would finally break the deadlock. The weight of the moment was written on their faces, every movement deliberate, every breath measured. Pitchers delivered with laser focus, knowing that a single misstep could end their night and shift the momentum for good. Every wind-up, every release, was executed with painstaking precision. In the dugouts, players leaned forward, gripping the railing, living and dying with each pitch. Teammates exchanged nervous glances, silent encouragements, and superstitious rituals, all hoping to will their team to victory. For Toronto, the stakes couldn't have been higher. Protecting home field meant everything. A win would give them a crucial edge, but a loss would send them to Los Angeles with their backs against the wall, facing a daunting challenge on the road. The crowd's nervous energy was palpable, a collective breath held in suspense. Every fan seemed to be living each moment as if they were on the field themselves, their hopes and fears echoing with every crack of the bat. This was the moment every player dreams of. Late innings, the World Series, the game hanging in the balance. The pressure was immense, but so was the opportunity for greatness. The tension was almost unbearable, a pure, unfiltered baseball drama unfolding before thousands of anxious eyes. Every gasp, every cheer, every groan from the crowd added to the spectacle. On the field, players readied themselves for the next big play, knowing it could define the night and perhaps the entire series. Every muscle was taut, every mind focused on the task at hand. All eyes were fixed on the field, waiting for a hero to emerge and etch their name into World Series history. The Blue Jays put a runner on third, 90 feet from victory. The crowd rose, sensing the moment. Bichette stepped to the plate, the weight of the season on his shoulders. His comeback, his leadership, all led to this at-bat. The Dodgers pitcher focused, knowing one mistake could end the game. Bichette settled in, blocking out the noise. The tension was electric. One swing could change everything. Teammates leaned over the dugout rail, holding their breath. The pitcher delivered, the ball blazing toward the plate. In a split second, Bichette had to decide, swing or hold. This was more than a test of skill, it was a test of nerve. The entire stadium held its breath. The outcome of the game, and maybe the series, hung in the balance. The pitch came, a fastball on the corner. Bichette swung, connecting with a sharp crack. The ball shot into the outfield past diving Dodgers. The runner sprinted home, sliding safely as the stadium erupted. Toronto had the lead. Bichette pumped his fist, emotion pouring out. Teammates stormed the field, celebrating the clutch hit. This wasn't just a single, it was the turning point of the World Series. Bichette's RBI shifted momentum, electrifying the crowd and his team. The Dodgers were stunned. The Blue Jays believed. In the biggest moment, Bichette delivered. His hit would be replayed for years. A defining moment. Toronto was now in control. The city roared with hope. With the lead, Toronto needed 3 outs to seal the win. The Dodgers threatened, but the Blue Jays closer took the mound, ice in his veins. Each pitch was met with anxious cheers. The first out came, then the second. 1 out away, the tension peaked. The final Dodgers batter struck out. Game over. The catcher and pitcher embraced as teammates rushed the field. Toronto had won Game 3. It was a team effort, but Bichette's single was the difference. The Blue Jays now led the series, 2-1. The crowd celebrated a hard-fought victory. Confidence surged through the clubhouse. 2 wins from a championship, Toronto believed. Bichette's single was more than a hit. It was a citywide celebration. Toronto erupted, from the stadium to living rooms across Canada. Fans had watched Bichette grow from prospect to superstar. His comeback and clutch performance felt personal to the city. The Blue Jays' history is rich, but this was a new legendary moment. Bichette's hit joined the pantheon of Toronto sports memories. It reignited hope for a championship run. The city's belief was now unshakable. Newspapers splashed his image. Talk shows replayed the moment. For one night, Bichette was Toronto's hero. The fan base had a memory to cherish, no matter what came next. The dream was alive and real. Bichette's RBI single defined Game 3 and shifted the World Series. In a night of stars, his clutch hit stood above the rest. It was a testament to resilience, focus, and seizing the moment. The Blue Jays now led the series, just 2 wins from glory. The victory united the team and city, fueling belief. Every championship run has a turning point. This was Toronto's. Bichette's swing represented hope and destiny. The series wasn't over, but the Blue Jays now believed greatness was within reach. On this night, one swing brought a dream closer to reality.